Ladies and gentlemen, just like yesterday's first couple of videos, today is going to be the same way. I do not have my microphones charged once again because I just keep forgetting to plug them in the charger overnight. I hope you guys understand that. However, in today's first video, of course, we are going to be talking about these SEC matchups. We're going to break them down, talk about who we think are actually contenders in the league and who's pretenders in the SEC. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Later today, we'll have 3 other videos for you guys, so stay tuned for that. We're going to, of course, talk a little SEC predictions. We're going to give our predictions for this week's matchups. We are also going to play our Texas A&M Road to Glory video because we have not done that in a while. And we also are going to be previewing the Fall Classic, the 2025 World Series, game by game. We're going to have predictions. We're going to talk about some of the pitching matchups, stuff like that, and just kind of preview the World Series as a whole in the final video today because tomorrow it kicks off. We are almost wrapping up the 2025 MLB season. Also, big breaking news out of the NBA. I'm not going to go over it too much because we don't know all the details yet, but if you guys did not see, Terry Rozier, of course, and the Portland Trail Blazers head coach were arrested by the FBI for illegal gambling. It's all over the news right now. The FBI just did a massive press conference at the time of recording this video. Still don't know all the details yet, so hopefully have a little bit of the details when it comes to the second video or third video of the day. We'll talk about that more there. But that is all for now that we know of. Obviously, like I said, the FBI just did a press conference. I'm going to have to go back and watch it because I missed it. But we will, of course, talk about it, break it down. Huge breaking news out of the NBA. Also, if you guys missed my announcement, lots of stuff to go over here in this intro part of the video. So bear with me here before we hop into these reactions. I will be at Mobile Christian High School as the Leopards take on W.S. Neal in a must-win playoff matchup. If they want to go to the playoffs, they must win this game on Friday night. So it's going to be a good one out there in West Mobile. Obviously, Mobile Christian 5-2 on the year. I saw them earlier. They looked really good, but this time it's going to be against a much more talented opponent in W.S. Neal, who's only 6-2 on the years, or 5-3 rather. So they're good. Mobile Christian's good. It should be a good one there in West Mobile tomorrow night. That is where I will be. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop right into these SEC Week number 8 reactions. All right, so kicking us off here on Saturday was the 11 a.m. game of the weekend. The game I was at, LSU getting beat by Vanderbilt. Vandy is legit, man. I don't think I've talked about Vanderbilt since we, of course, did our videos a couple of weeks ago where we are actually posting. Last week it was just kind of busy, so was the week before. But I don't think I've talked about them. They are a legit contender, man. Vanderbilt is 6-1 in the SEC with their only loss being to the Alabama Crimson Tide. They just went out there and beat a top 10 ranked LSU team with Garrett Nussmeier. Yes, I know Whit Weeks was hurt, which was a big part of that LSU defense allowing Vanderbilt to run all over them. But the offense should have played a lot better than it did. And I know Garrett Nussmeier has been hurt, but Brian Kelly, before the start of the year, said that this is our best roster yet. And LSU is not showing that right now. They have 2 losses. If they lose this weekend to Texas A&M, they are eliminated from the college football playoff. Let's be real. Yes, they still have Bama on the schedule, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with Alabama. We'll see if they can. However, it's win or go home for the LSU Tigers regardless. A lot of fans are calling right now for Brian Kelly to be fired, rightfully so. Obviously, it was not the best of game. 31-24, the final score. Diego Pavia going off, 225, 2 touchdowns on the day, and Vanderbilt proves why they are the team to beat in the SEC. College Game Day is going to be there this weekend for the Vanderbilt-Missouri game. I actually have a couple friends going to that one. I went last weekend, so I'm not trying to go up there 2 weekends in a row. But it was fun. Loved it, obviously. However, Vanderbilt does get the win, and they prove to the SEC and prove to the nation that they are a college football playoff contender in the Vanderbilt Commodores. Next game up, of course, was the 11:45 game on SEC Network. Oklahoma going into South Carolina and destroying South Carolina. I've seen a lot of reactions to this one. I've seen that Shane Beamer needs to be fired, and I don't think I've talked about South Carolina ever since that LSU game where they did lose to that one. So South Carolina was projected to be one of the top teams in, of course, the SEC this year with the Norris Sellers coming back. Obviously, he goes down with an injury earlier in the year. I believe he missed a game or two against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt beats them. Now, South Carolina, they're 3-4 on the year, 1-4 to start SEC conference play. So not too far off from being 0-4 like the Auburn Tigers, which we'll talk about here in a second. And man, I got some words on that, so stay tuned for that. However, Oklahoma is by far the better team. I expected Oklahoma to win this game. It was an early morning kick, so thank God it wasn't a night game at Willie B for them. Otherwise, it may have been a closer game. But John Mateer, 160 yards, 1 touchdown, does look a little timid at times to take off and stuff like that because of the injury that he had a couple of weeks ago. Still trying to nurture that back, of course, in this with this Oklahoma squad. So I understand why that they are playing him timid like they are and trying to keep him in the pocket and not taking off like he is used to doing. And we saw that against Auburn, right? But Oklahoma, they are now 6-1, 2-1 overall in the SEC. They are going to be really good. Obviously, that loss to Texas is just unfortunate. It is what it is. We'll call it a spade. But right now, Oklahoma does get the win, and they are looking pretty good to make the college football playoff out of the SEC. Moving on to the next game up, the 3:15 game, I guess you would say. And I'm remembering all these times off the top of my head, which is absolutely wild. But Florida hosting Mississippi State, and literally Blake Shapen sold the game. Let's be real. I mean, the dude literally threw an interception to the offensive lineman. I get where he was trying to go. I get the play call that they were trying to do. But when you're up like that, all you got to do is run the football and you call a timeout or spike the ball. You get up to the line, clock stops in college football. So you get up to the line, snap the ball, kick the field goal, and you win the game. Obviously, Florida gets the win, but Billy Napier is fired, and we did talk about this earlier in the week, but DJ Lagway, I saw where he said he wants to be a Florida Gator still. So obviously, DJ Lagway looks to be staying at Florida for the time being. Obviously, Billy Napier being fired, that's a win for Florida. He was 22-23 or something like that as a Florida head coach, and he was just not that great. And Blake Shapen, Mississippi State, could have won this game. Obviously, he was a better quarterback with 325 passing yards. The Florida running back, of course, having 1 rushing touchdown on the day as well. It was just a really good game, a very slow game up until the halftime in the second half or something like that. But overall, Mississippi State tried to come back, would have come back and won the game had Blake Shapen not have sold. Mississippi State falls to 4-3 and 0-3 in the SEC play. But I truly believe if they play teams like Arkansas and Auburn, they probably would beat some of those teams and make a bowl game. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Mississippi State can hang in there, but they still have a winning record after this weekend, and Florida gets the job done at home against Mississippi State. Moving on to the next game, of course, is Ole Miss and Georgia. My one takeaway from this one is that Georgia is fraudulent, guys. Yes, Auburn should have beat them. We all know that. Everybody and their mama knows that. I'm not going to talk about that game or the Oklahoma game because everybody knows that Auburn should have won both of those games. However, Georgia, on the other hand, Gunnar Stockton played really well, 4 passing touchdowns. It was an offensive shootout kind of day. Ole Miss having the lead, obviously blew it there in the second half. Classic Lane Kiffin blow show, I guess you would say, from Ole Miss. And they do fall to Kirby Smart and the Dogs. But I don't know if you guys saw, this was absolutely hilarious when Lane Kiffin said he was clapping whenever he tried to call a timeout to one of the referees, kind of trolling the SEC officiating crew. Just pretty laughable, I guess you would say. Ole Miss, their first loss of the season. I truly believe that this Ole Miss team will make the college football playoff, ladies and gentlemen. They have some really good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. Like their quarterback, their wide receiver core is really talented. Ole Miss has the dudes to make it to the college football playoff, and I believe they will. And Georgia may be their only loss of the year as Georgia gets the job done at home against Ole Miss. Moving on to the next game is Texas A&M going into Arkansas, and it's been a minute since we talked about Arkansas here on the channel as well because of Sam Pittman. We didn't talk about Sam Pittman's firing over at Arkansas because we just didn't post videos during the time that it happening because we were super busy. But Sam Pittman fired Arkansas. Bobby Petrino now is the head man over there for the Razorbacks, and he almost beat Tennessee last week, and then followed up with a almost beat of Texas A&M, the number 4 team in America. LSU has what it takes to beat this Texas A&M team. The question is, will Brian Kelly get his shit together and actually do it? That's going to be the real question. Marcel Reed balled out, 280 yards, 3 touchdowns on the day for him, 147 rushing yards for the Arkansas running back. Looks like they got the ball to their playmakers. Arkansas truly can beat Auburn this weekend, which we'll talk about that game here in a minute. But Arkansas will have their work cut out for them. Obviously, Texas A&M is one of the best teams in the country. They're undefeated right now in conference play. I expect them to make the college football playoff once again. And Texas A&M has everything rolling right now as they beat the Razorbacks in that matchup. Moving on to the next matchup here, that is Texas going into Kentucky, and Kentucky almost pulling out the overtime win. Literally, had they have managed clock a little bit better and did some other things the right way in the second half, and then in overtime, they would have won this game. But Texas escapes off the walk-off field goal. I think if the quarterback would have made some better reads, then they would have been better off winning this game. Kentucky, I'm talking about Kentucky here. But obviously, Arch Manning struggled in this matchup. I thought that Kentucky didn't really do anything to impress me a whole lot. Neither did Texas. Watched the overtime period, but didn't watch a whole lot of this game. But Texas does get the win and improves to 6-2 on the year. Next game up is Alabama hosting Tennessee in the third Saturday in October. Tennessee, Joey Aguilar, 268 passing yards, 1 touchdown. However, Gunnar Stockton has the Alabama Crimson Tide rolling, Ty Simpson has the Alabama Crimson Tide rolling. They have beaten 5 ranked opponents in a row, and of course are 6-1 and 4-0 in SEC play, and are going to be a contender in this SEC and nationally in the college football playoff race. So Alabama gets the job done at home against Tennessee in the third Saturday in October. Now, man, do I have some words for this Auburn football team, because it has been a minute since we have talked about Auburn. First of all, let's be real. I said I wouldn't talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it here. We should have beaten Georgia. We should have beaten Oklahoma. I don't know if you guys saw, but the SEC allegedly has suspended their referee, Ken Williamson, I believe is his name. That officiated the Auburn-Oklahoma game and the Auburn-Georgia game. He's out. Thank God. Good riddance. Bye-bye by him. But when it comes to this game, Auburn should have won this football game. Everybody knows that we had the game in the bag, right? We took an early first quarter lead. Jackson Arnold, great first quarter drive, gets the ball to his playmakers a lot, gets Cam Coleman involved. Perry Thompson makes catch after catch, right? But we continue to see the same Auburn team in the second half where they just give up. I don't understand what it is. And Auburn had the lead going into halftime, was tied at halftime. You are still in this football game. You cannot let your foot off the gas. I don't understand it. I don't know what Hugh Freeze's problem is. It's just crap, right? Missouri allowing that, of course, final drive in overtime against Pablo. This Missouri team was not that great, by the way. I feel like Vanderbilt is going to kick the crap out of Missouri this weekend. Let's be real. That's a little hint, weak right there. But Jeremiah Cobb was going off. Perry Thompson was going off as well. I don't understand it. Why Jackson Arnold continues to make Hugh Freeze calls the plays that he does, which doesn't allow Jackson Arnold to get the ball to his playmakers like Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton, Perry Thompson. You have 3 or 4 wide receivers that are insanely talented, and you don't utilize them properly. I don't understand it. Hugh Freeze, you either got to go or get somebody to call plays for you, because this just sucks. For an Auburn fan base, 0-4 to start SEC Conference play for the 3rd year in a row. Safe to say the Hugh Freeze tenure has not worked out yet for Auburn. Hopefully he gets his crap together this weekend against Ole Miss. We shall see. But you guys, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. I'm going to hop off, get this one edited, so you guys can watch it on time. Of course, like I said, we will have SEC predictions for week number 9, so stay tuned for that. We'll also play our Texas A&M Road to Glory and preview the Fall Classic and the World Series. So stay tuned. Big day here posting on the YouTube channel. We're just getting started. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.